because your friend can travel every 5 days, that don't mean you can. And it's okay to say, I am broke. A moment of silence for the ladies who cannot say, I am broke. It is okay to be broke. It does not mean you don't have money. Okay. Number one on my list is heavily depending on partners for financial security. Now, guys, I don't know if it's a pandemic, ama ni nini, but for some reason, women have believed that men should be sole providers. Okay, wacha nirudi nyuma kidogo. Yes, men should provide, and I stand on business on that. Men should provide. They should provide for us emotionally, financially, I almost said psychologically, but you get, men should be the providers. But there's this thing called over dependence on the man. What about your grandchildren? Even the Bible says a wise man and woman in this case is someone who leaves inheritance for every other, not every other, for generations after them. Be wise, smart money women. Overspending on lifestyle and not having a budget. This one, Instagram babes, you're killing us. Are you guys traveling every week? Every week you're in London, tindi you're in Paris, tindi wewe na Atwoli akisema natoka Geneva, naenda sijui wapi, naenda sijui uko tu hapo na yeye. Okay, I'm not judging. If you can afford it. Hi guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the Rare View podcast. I am your host Kama K, Kama Kawaida, Rachel Anita, and I'm here to walk with you through life. We are doing this together, guys. And today I want to talk about common financial mistakes that women in Kenya make. You could be a man watching this, and yes, you could be making these mistakes, but as you know, in this show, I am very pro women, and we are here to talk about mistakes that women make. When I did the Finance 101 episode, which Kama Uja watch, please, you're not doing me justice. You're not doing me justice. Go back and watch that episode about how to navigate finances and what not. What's not. Yeah. So today I want to start with the finance mistakes women make. And number one on my list is heavily depending on partners for financial security. Now, guys, I don't know if it's a pandemic, ama ni nini, but for some reason, women have believed that men should be sole providers. Okay, wacha nirudi nyuma kidogo. Yes, men should provide, and I stand on business on that. Men should provide. They should provide for us emotionally, financially, I almost said psychologically, but you get, men should be the providers. But there's this thing called over dependence on the man. Guys, let's look at the finance. Hey, how we are all doing financially right now. The financial economy, I wanted to say finance climate right now, it's not favoring anyone. No one is doing well in this economy right now, unless you're doing other businesses that we don't know about. But everyone is struggling. And when you really depend on one person for everything, let's just picture this. Maybe you're a girlfriend or a wife. This man should take care of the bills from steamer bills, electricity bills, water bills, subscription bills, then food bills, your health, everything. I think it will make anyone run mad, and that is not fair, guys. So, and in the case where this guy either dies or just runs out of your life because you've become a problem instead of adding to him, then what will become of you? Have you thought of that? Because death happens, divorce happens, separation happens, and people right now are just breaking up left, right, and center. What will become of you? Now, instead of becoming that person whose life just changes like that because someone left, you remember there was this time, this lady who was alikuwa anaendesha Mercedes ya governor, ikaachwa town. I don't like how that made her look because she had other accomplishments, but all we think about every day is, huyu dem aliachwa aje hivi, and it's not nice. So how can we fix that problem? How can we fix overdependence on our partners? Number one is cultivate your financial independence. Guys, like I always say, it doesn't matter if you're making 100 bob a day or 10,000 a day or a million. At the end of the day, pesa yako kama mwanamke ni tamu. Yes, ya mwanaume ni, I wanted to say tamwara, but it's sweeter when the money is coming from the man. I understand I'm a married woman and I love my husband's money so much. But having your own financial say in a relationship is such a huge plus for anyone. All right. So think of having your own savings. Like I said, there's so many ways to save these days. There are MMFs, there are circles, there are bonds, there are treasuries, there's what. There's savings left, right, and center. And trust you me, even in a day, even if you save 10 shillings, the nyeni zako, it somehow gives some sense of kujipenda tu kidogo, better than depending on a man 100%. All right. Don't forget having multiple sources of income. Hapa kwa multiple sources of income, it is relative. You can try, you have a 9 to 5, you add something onto that. These days, the online space has made it very possible to do one or two, three things on the side. Just do what you can. Like I've said, you have to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be a million shillings. It doesn't have to be crazy amounts of money. Start somewhere and start where you're comfortable. But at the end of the day, realize with or without that man, you should be able to be steady. There's this thing that crosses my mind when I think about financial independence for women. I have seen and I have had friends who have 100% like dependent on their partners. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing to have a man who can support you through and through. But let me tell you, human beings are very selfish. And at the end of the day, there's like a that's in Anzanga, if then it goes cleaning like this. And it's not a nice place to be. When you suddenly realize this man handles you like a bag, there's some possessiveness that comes over providing for someone, which is a natural human behavior to semi. Now, number two, women. Why don't you have financial goals? How can you say you're a, okay, I wanted to say how can you say you're a woman, but that might sound really upsetting. But how can you live in these times and not have a financial goal? You see, when you don't have a financial goal, this leads to aimless spending, not knowing who you are, not knowing what you want, and so forth. And the easiest way to get into financial planning and financial goals is to have short, mid, and long term goals. Short term goals ni kama something, let's say a year or less. Mid term goals, something that spans between 1 to 5 years, and long term goes all the way up to the rest of your life. The easy way to do this is to divide your money. Okay, you can have money that you use in today, money that you use in 3 months, money that you use in a year or so. And I always say, if you don't, this is another point, but when you're planning your money or how you use money, if you're the woman from number one who's just relying on his man, on her man, then when you come here, you don't have any financial goals, which means if you're given even money with this man, let's say you're given 100K today, then you blow it all today. What about tomorrow? What about the day after tomorrow? What about I like thinking about my grandchildren. What about your grandchildren? Even the Bible says a wise man and woman in this case is someone who leaves inheritance for every other, not every other, for generations after them. Be wise, smart money women. Think about getting achievable, smart goals. Think about getting making better financial decisions for you daily and so forth. For instance, like I was saying, when you're setting these goals, when you have some money, just think about it. Say the easy way to do the short, mid, and long is to have different. Okay, I don't sound okay. Get a financial advisor first if you can. But secondly, gawa your money. Don't always have your money in one basket, one big basket that if you take everything, you can access all your money at any point. I like having money which is readily accessible, money that pains me to access it. Like if you have a lock saving account, you have to go to the bank and you have to give a reason as to why you're getting that money. So anytime you want to get that money, you have to think twice. Do I really need this money, or am I just being an aimless spender right now? Then after that, there's like when you do a circle or some types of insurances, you cannot get that money unless you die or something else happens in between, or you forfeit all that money. So think about it like that, because if you have all your money in one space, babes, itakuramba, and it's not nice. So don't forget, for the number two lack of financial goals, be a smart money woman. That means set up specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound money goals. All right. On to my third point: overspending on lifestyle and not having a budget. This one, Instagram babes, you're killing us. Are you guys traveling every week? Every week. you're in London, tindi, you're in Paris, tindi, wewe na tuoli akisema natoka Geneva, naenda sijui wapi, naenda sijui uko tu hapo na yeye. Okay, I'm not judging. If you can afford it, fantastic. But do not go overspending on a lifestyle that you cannot afford, guys. Just because your friend can travel every 5 days, that don't mean you can. And it's okay to say, I am broke. A moment of silence for the ladies who cannot say, I am broke. It is okay to be broke. It does not mean you don't have money. Okay. Being broke, yes, it does relate to not having money, but sometimes it relates to, I love myself to not have money to spend on this kind of thing. All right. So it's okay to pull back. You're in a set of people, everyone is going out every other Friday. You can afford only 2 Fridays in a month, and it's fine. It's okay. So remember, stop overspending on lifestyles, guys. People are out here buying wigs worth sijui 1 million. Kwanza mnatoa wapi pesa, guys? Hapo kwa comments mnisaidie. Why are you guys removing this money? Because I really don't understand. In this economy, why people are being taxed left, right, and center, share, shift, shoof, share, I don't even understand. But I'm not judging, babes. Go get your dough, however you make it. I'm not judging. Just be smart about it. All right? Young women in Nairobi and most cities around the world are overspending on unessential items. This can be like designer clothes, bags, Balenciaga, whatnot. You guys are doing out here streets the IG. Hey, I cannot even breathe. I'm just like, wait, what life am I living? And then this creates pressure, especially for the younger ladies, 18 to 29. You find yourself wondering if, funny enough, I'm in that category right now. I'm almost leaving, but I'm in that category. I'm wondering how people are living this lifestyle. Well, if you can't keep up with them, it's okay to sit back and say, no, I can't keep up with them. So remember, one of the solutions to this, if you're overspending currently and you don't have a budget, there's an easy 50-30-20 rule, which I always say 50% is for the needs. These are things you cannot live without. This is like um, your rent, school fees, if you have a kid, things you really can't live without. Then there's 30% for wants. Now your designer bags can be in that 30%. Then there's 20% for saving and investment. So we go back to having like planning for your future. Because if you don't, no one is coming to save you, babes. No one is coming to save you. So prioritize healthy living, prioritize healthy financial living instead of just impulsively buying things. And there's also this rule I've had somewhere. If you really like something, give it like about 24 to 48 hours before buying it. If it's like a big purchase, let's say there's a bag you want to buy and it's probably like 1 million. Hey, I'm just trying to hold myself. Why would you spend 1 million? Maybe I don't have that money, but why would you spend 1 million on a bag? But let's say you like this bag, it's 1 million shillings, and you probably have that amount of money. Give yourself 24 to 48 hours to think about it, to savor in that moment before you buy that bag. Even if it's a pair of shoes or dress, this is something non essential, something you can live without. But because you've seen it and you really want it, don't jump into it just like that. All right? And now, to my fourth point, overlooking investment opportunities. Most Kenyan women, especially those in the rural settings, or those who are new to financial independence, are hesitant or unaware of new investment opportunities. Like I said, these days there's so many ways to save. There's MMFs, circles, blah 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 blah. But now you find someone is so redundant and someone is so they're not willing to change. Utaki kutoa pesa chini ya mattress, baby girl, nyumba ikichomeka, where will you go? What will you do? Learn to trust these new opportunities that tech has made easy for all of us to save. So remember, there's a tendency to hold on to cash or investment in low returning products like saving accounts. For me, there's something I usually don't like, or I wish to find someone who would make it make sense to me, like merry-go-rounds. I would want someone, I don't want to push it aside and judge it, but I really don't get it. If you're just putting money somewhere or giving someone money and it's coming with zero returns, basically, I don't get it. Maybe someone in the comments can make me understand how merry-go-rounds work, because they're really low. It's actually a zero investment for me. Maybe for the community sense, maybe. But now instead of maybe putting your money in a merry-go-round and then mama moja akimbia na pesa zenu, there you could do a very nice MMF. which will give you some small percentage. But at the end of the day, your money irudi to the way it went. It's to the way it went. Your money comes back with something. You get to gain something from that. So if you are suffering from this problem of overlooking investment opportunities, I would advise you to educate yourself on the investment options that are readily available for you. These days with Google and tech, you can get anything online. Remember, there are low risk options, like I've said, like government bonds or unit trust that can be a great starting point for beginners. I also find circles to be quite helpful for chamas and so forth, because you get, when you invest in a circle, you can get a loan of up to 3 times the amount you've invested, and you get to you get to have a nice community in there as well. And now to my last point, which is integrated to this point, is lack of knowledge. Um, Again, like I always say, I think I say this on every podcast episode. When you know better, you do better. So when you know there are other opportunities for you, please don't put a blind eye to that. Be open to learning, be open to getting new information every time. Buy a book, read a book, listen to podcasts on finance. And I'm so grateful for that, because right now there are so many finance people coming up and willing to share their information for free. It's all over in the internet. You can get anything you want to. If you want to learn about MMS, you just go and search. You'll get every other information. Secrecy, no one like doesn't want to share information, and it's a beautiful place to be. So without proper knowledge of how money works, sometimes people make mistakes that honestly they couldn't have made. But now, like I'm telling you, education is key. Go and get online courses. The podcast have said, get financial advisors, and there's so many. There's so many. And remember, there's platforms like Mchanga that help you get a starting base, somewhere to just a soft landing ya kwanza. I can't expect you to just start and become pro in one day. Even me, I'm learning. And on that note, I want to let you guys know next year I'll be doing a series on finance with great people in that space. So watch out for that, Kwanzia January. And I'm super excited to have people who understand what finance is all about. All these things I've said, the mistakes we make, the places we can invest in, and so forth. So please stay tuned for this and more. And I'm very excited. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, and engage me. Engage me, guys. All right. Bye.